CPS is not gonna come fuck with me. They want real cases, man. My house is... I did have my daughter go under the bed and push all the trash out. You'll see here soon. And I hate that I have come to this. Get my house ready with me, so CPS can come over.
I hate all of this. And I've had all week to fix it. All month to fix it, really. And I just still freaking haven't. God. It's all so bad. I don't know what to freaking do about it.
Somebody please yell at me to clean my kitchen. It's so bad right now, and I just cannot find the motivation. Please. Somebody say something to get me going. I need help.
The sink overflowed because their washer drains into the sink. And their cat litter sits underneath this sink, and it overflowed. And so this is like dirt, grime, filth, cat litter, cat feces. I mean, when I think about the smell, it sends me into a panic.
Being lazy is pretty normal. It happens to almost everyone at some point. We all procrastinate a bit here and there. But when laziness goes from the occasional, I'll do it later, to a point where you can't even do the easiest tasks, it becomes a real issue. That's exactly what's going on with a TikTok creator named Amanda. Her contents are completely filthy. In fact, she's made an entire online persona out of her untidy lifestyle, openly sharing the piles of dirt and clutter in her home while talking to her viewers about how she'll eventually clean it up. A lot of people feel uneasy about her videos, especially because Amanda is married and has children. They're concerned about the kids' well-being. After all, living in that kind of environment might not be the healthiest situation. It makes you wonder how Amanda ended up like this and why she's so comfortable putting her untidiness on full display for the world to see. Let me show you how dirty this woman can be.
You guys ready for me to finish these toilets? We're also going to get back here. Don't worry, the baby doesn't use that potty, but we're going to get back here. This area, by the way, is so...
Just taking one look at this toilet is enough to make your stomach turn. It's so filthy and neglected that you can't help but feel disgusted. But what's more troubling is how comfortable Amanda seems in this mess while making the video, like she's totally fine with it, openly sharing it with her viewers, like it's no big deal. But why is she stooped so low? It's all because of TikTok. Here's the thing about TikTok's algorithm. When you're just starting, getting your first viral video can feel impossible. But once it happens, you start obsessing over why that video blew up, trying to recreate the same thing over and over again to keep the views rolling in. For Amanda, it seems like the messiness of her life became the thing that got attention. Looking back at her earlier posts, things weren't always this bad. Her videos didn't used to be filled with so much dirt. But as her following grew, she leaned into the messiness more and more, probably because it got her more views, and that's what keeps her audience coming back for more.
Now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet, that's some wet. Now get a bucket and a mop, that's some wet, that's some wet. I'm talking wop, 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 that's some wet, that's some wet. Macaroni and...
Make some goals, lose some rolls. Make some goals, lose some rolls. Make some goals, lose some rolls. Make some goals.
Show you how it goes.
These are her earliest videos. If you look back at Amanda's videos from around 2020, when she first started posting, they were pretty different. She wasn't intentionally showing off a dirty home back then. Her videos were more about general content, but you could tell she was still finding her way. Over time, though, something changed. Her content changed. The first video that really gained traction was a big turning point. That's when things shifted for her, and she started leaning more into the dirty home angle. People clicked, they commented, and she got a lot of views.
I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety continues to me, makes me wide awake. What's come through the mouth feels like I'm so furious. I get overwhelmed.
Amanda's first video that started gaining attention got a few hundred views, which was a pretty big deal for her at the time. It was posted around August 2020, and it doubled the number of viewers she normally got on her other videos. At first, Amanda probably didn't think much of it. It was just another post, but the reaction was different this time. After that, she kept uploading random videos here and there, but none of them got the same kind of attention. It was like she was trying to branch out, trying different things, but nothing seemed to click the same way. Then, just a few days later, she posted another video that was just as dirty as the first one.
I'm depressed and a little anxious. I have no friends. Even when I have friends, I'm depressed.
For the first time ever, Amanda's video blew up. It racked up almost 30,000 views, way more than she'd ever gotten before. That moment gave her a clear sign of what TikTok's algorithm liked to push out on her page. She had figured out what clicked with her audience. At that point, her videos began to take on a specific theme. She portrayed herself as a busy mom with a ton of kids. Kids who were playful and disruptive made the house a complete mess. The focus was on her trying to clean everything up on her own. It was raw, it was real, and it was relatable to many. A lot of the comments were from other women in similar situations. Moms who had their chaos at home and understood exactly what Amanda was going through. They sympathized with her struggle, sharing their own stories and acknowledging that they too were juggling kids, mess, and the pressure of keeping it all together. What set Amanda apart from the other moms in the comments was the fact that she was a stay-at-home mom. Most of the women sharing their experiences likely had jobs or were attending school on top of trying to juggle home chores and their kids. But Amanda's situation was different. She didn't have to worry about a job or school. She had the whole day to focus on her home and kids, while her husband went to work to provide financially for the family. Despite having all this time, Amanda still found it overwhelming and depressing to do the daily chores. You'd think that having no outside commitments would make things easier, but for her it seemed to have the opposite effect. The pressure of maintaining a clean home, taking care of the kids, and being constantly on with no break seemed to wear her down. Why was it so hard for her to keep up with it all when she had so much time on her hands? Noticing that her laziness brings in videos, she started posting videos of her cleaning her messy home.
Look at me, I put a face on. Wow! Look at me, I put a show on when I go. Looking at me like you want my man. What the?
Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. Flip out!
It was during this period in 2020 when Amanda was figuring out that TikTok was pushing her home cleaning and dirty videos, that she had one of her biggest breakthroughs. She posted a video that hit almost 1 million views, a big jump from her previous videos.
I can. I didn't hills of California because these little style pies and I got there and lawyers and I heard myself sometimes. The steps are scary for you. Watch me.
Amanda would usually get hundreds of thousands of views on her videos, but only when she posted content like the messy home and cleaning videos. Even though she was still uploading a mix of other videos like the dance routines, duets, and challenges, none of those seemed to get the same kind of traction. The messy videos were the only ones that truly caught the algorithm's attention and brought in the views she wanted. So as time went on, she didn't stop posting other types of content entirely, but she started focusing more on the dirty home videos, posting them a few times a week. Here is one of the most popular and the most criticized videos of Amanda that got people talking.
Good morning, and we are back with another bedroom cleaning video. I did have my daughter go under the bed and push all the trash out. You'll see here.
One question that had people talking about the video was whether the messy room was her kids' or hers. Viewers couldn't help but wonder how so much garbage had ended up there in the first place. It was a lot, and it didn't seem like the kind of mess you'd expect in a kid's room, or an adult's for that matter. But what worried people was seeing Amanda ask her daughter to go under the bed to pull out this massive pile of trash. People were concerned about the risks involved. The room was filled with so much clutter, and there could easily be sharp objects hidden under the pile of dirt and debris. It was dangerous for the child to be crawling under there, and viewers couldn't understand why Amanda wouldn't just move the bed to another part of the room and clean the trash herself. It was a bad decision to send her daughter there, especially when she could have easily done it herself without putting her child at risk. Amanda even claimed that her daughter was enjoying herself under the bed.
Here, I'm trying to get my daughter to be here helping me. She was eager to help me. She loved coming under the bed and pushing all this garbage out. As you can see here, she's loving it. After I clean up this corner, what it looks like, it is insane. And I just wanted to address, like, most of my comments are like, there's no excuse for this, there's no excuse for this, and I know that. I'm not making one. So quit commenting it, because I'm not making any excuse. This is absolutely horrible, and I hate that I have come to this again. You know, I've been dealing with this battle for 4 or 5 years now, you know, probably my whole life. I never was taught to clean very well.
Amanda claims she wasn't taught to clean when she was growing up, but at some point, that excuse starts to feel like it's no longer enough. If she didn't learn the habit of keeping things tidy when she was younger, she should have at least made an effort to break that cycle for the sake of her kids. Because if her children see that this kind of messy, careless behavior is acceptable, they could easily pick it up and continue it as they grow up. In fact, they might even take it further and end up living in worse conditions than she does. Her kids are learning from what they see, and that could have a long-term impact on how they manage their own spaces when they're older. The amount of mess in her home is honestly shocking. You start to wonder just how long it's been building up to this point. How many days, weeks, or even months did it take for that much dirt to accumulate under her bed?
So I had her push everything out, and you guys are probably going to have to come back for the next video to see the finished results. We got to go through this stuff and throw away all the trash.
In the video, you can hear Amanda say, "Wait till the next video to see the result," like it's all part of the fun for her. She was intentionally building suspense, making it seem like a big reveal for her followers. But the whole thing came off as more of a content stunt than genuine concern for the mess she was showing. She was using her family's chaotic living situation to create drama and keep people coming back for more. However, after the video went viral, the backlash came quickly. People were rightfully upset about her sending her daughter under the bed to push the trash out. Instead of addressing the criticism directly or owning up to the questionable decision, Amanda made another video claiming that it was her daughter's idea to go under the bed.
And my daughter wanted to go under the bed and push everything out. She wanted to do that. I didn't force her to do it. I didn't tell her to do it. She's like, yeah, mommy, I'll go under there and push everything out. So to the people saying that you shouldn't be making your daughter do that, she wanted to.
Even if Amanda's daughter was the one who insisted on going under the bed, as the adult, Amanda should have stepped in and explained the risks involved. She should have made it clear that crawling under a pile of trash can be dangerous, with sharp objects hidden in the mess that could hurt her. Instead, Amanda allowed it to happen. And even worse, she filmed it, acting like it was all in good fun. That right there was the peak of irresponsibility. It's one thing to make questionable decisions for yourself, but it's entirely another to put your child in harm's way for the sake of a cheap viral moment.
And no, the bedroom is not finished yet because I had to cook dinner for my family and do all the other mom stuff, so I took a pause on that, but we are going to get back at it today. I do have to run to the bank first, so that's going to be a little while. Literally all the laundry that's from my...
That response video was her attempt to deflect from her actions, but it certainly didn't make people feel any sympathy for her. Instead, it only showed how out of touch she seemed with the situation. The backlash grew, and one commenter even challenged her motives, questioning why she would risk her child's safety just for content on TikTok. Amanda's response was that the $5,000 she earned the previous month from making such videos made it all worth it. If Amanda is truly making that much money from the content she uploads, then she could easily afford to hire someone to come in and clean the house. It's not like the money is an issue for her if she's making thousands from TikTok monthly. This only suggests that the main reason her house is always dirty isn't because she's incapable of cleaning, but because she's using the mess for content. She's most likely deliberately keeping things messy for the sake of her videos. She also doesn't seem to care if her child ends up doing something dangerous along the way. As long as she's getting paid for the views, it appears she's willing to overlook the risks and consequences. A mother of 3 and a lot of animals should have more concern over the lives living in a room and not always money gain.
Look at that swipe. Look at that first swipe. I mean, I just did this only a couple days ago. But with 4 kids, 3 dogs, 3 cats, and my husband all tracking through here.
That seems to be a part of the reason why the house is always messy. With 4 kids, 3 dogs, 3 cats, and a busy husband, it's not surprising that things can go from clean to messy in just a few hours. A household that big and active is bound to get messy quickly, and the reality of juggling all those responsibilities can make it hard to keep things tidy. But it also means that Amanda doesn't have to do much to get her house ready for her next video. The mess practically takes care of itself, and it's already set up to be the perfect content for her next video. The same can be said with her living room carpet and its usual condition.
Holy shit!
I mean, just looking at how much dirt was pulled out from cleaning her carpet. Was she just too lazy to clean it before? Or was she intentionally leaving it filthy to create content that would grab attention and get views? Either way, the result is the same. It's not a healthy or responsible way to live. But then Amanda seems to have a habit of contradicting herself. On one hand, Amanda repeatedly says that she makes no excuses for how dirty her house gets, almost like she owns the mess, and says it's just part of her life. But then in another video, she turns around and tries to explain why her house always gets so messy.
I'm going to take care of my house better. I know what this looks like. Kids spill things and I don't pick it up right away because they don't tell me things have spilled until it is too far gone. And then I just overlook.
It's interesting that Amanda points the finger at her kids, saying she expects them to come to tell her when they make a mess so she can clean it up. But honestly, that doesn't really add up. As we've already established earlier in the video, she's naturally messy and disorganized, with a house full of kids and animals. It's not about the kids making messes. It's about her own habits and the way she chooses to live. And let's be real, she's aware that the mess brings in more views. Over time, she discovered that her dirty, chaotic home is what attracts attention on TikTok. So it doesn't really matter if the kids are telling her when they make a mess. In fact, she's kind of counting on them to do it. If the house were clean, there would be no messy content to post, and that would mean fewer views. So in a way, she's creating this cycle where dirtiness and disorganization are accepted and encouraged because it fuels her content. She's comfortable with this lifestyle, not because it's the only way she knows, but because it benefits her.
Happy Monday, everybody, and today we are catching up on this horrendous pile of laundry that accumulated outside my bed. Speaking of bedrooms, my bedroom does not look perfect. I get that, but it is so much better than it was. And that's all I'm really striving for, is being better than I was the day before. So,
if you ask me, those piles of clothes scattered all over the floor were probably placed there on purpose for the content. It just doesn't make sense for there to be that much clothing thrown around in a pathway leading to the bedroom, unless it was intentionally set up for dramatic effect. She's staging the mess to make the video more interesting, and let's be honest, more clickable. And then she has the nerve to claim that her room is a lot better than it was before. How bad could it have possibly been for her to say that? It just makes you wonder, if this is the better version of her room, what was it like before? Amanda has definitely become an ambassador and advocate for the dirty lifestyle. It's honestly surprising that some people actually feel bad for Amanda and make excuses for her behavior. They suggest things like she might have some neurological issue that's causing her to act this way, or that it's just too hard for her to keep up with the housework because of all the kids and animals. But let's be realistic here. Those excuses just aren't grounded in reality. Amanda has been living this way for years, and she's been sharing this messy lifestyle since 2020. It's not a recent issue, and it's not something that's suddenly out of her control. Yes, managing a house full of kids and animals is challenging, but that doesn't excuse living in filth. She's made a choice to embrace this mess, and if anything, it seems like it's getting worse as time goes on. I'm sure many of the people making these excuses are new to her page and haven't been following her long enough to see the full picture. If they've only recently come across her content, they might not realize that she's been like this for a while now. The fact that she's still living in these conditions and seems comfortable with it shows that this is her reality, not something she's struggling with or can't control. This creator explained the situation perfectly.
You're telling me in 2025 we are still watching and supporting creators who live in filth purposely? You cannot tell me this is like once in a blue moon. They are purposely getting their house so dirty, filming themselves cleaning it, and then getting all these views. They have over hundreds of followers, thousands of followers. And I'm just so sick and tired of watching those.
That creator really hit the nail on the head with her analysis. But what's even more telling is how Amanda didn't just sit back and let the criticism roll in. Instead of owning up to her behavior or acknowledging the concerns people had, she turned to emotional manipulation to keep people sympathizing with her. She knows how to play the emotional card, drawing on her struggles as a mother, her busy household, and the pressure of keeping up with everything. It's a way to shift the focus away from her poor choices and make people feel sorry for her. It's really sad when you think about it, though. The ones who suffer the most in this situation aren't the followers or the trolls making comments. It's her kids. They're the ones who have to deal with the drama, the mess, and the consequences of their mother's actions. It's heartbreaking that they're caught in the middle of this, all because Amanda isn't being fully honest with her audience.
I think I'm having an anxiety attack.
Mommy.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. The water is coming up again, and I turned off all the water, and I don't know what to do. And the plumber's not gonna be here until 10, and I'm just freaking the fuck out.
Mom, sit down.
If someone were truly experiencing a serious anxiety attack, the last thing they would do is pick up their phone, unlock it, and start recording a video for strangers. Anyone genuinely in the middle of a panic attack or mental health crisis would be focused on getting the help they need, whether that's reaching out to a professional, heading to the hospital, or simply trying to calm down in a safe space. The idea that Amanda would pick up her phone in the midst of an emotional breakdown just to post about it feels incredibly manipulative. This whole crying for attention act shows just how much she's playing on people's emotions for views. By claiming she's having an anxiety attack and then filming herself during it, she's trying to make her viewers feel sorry for her. But when you look at the situation logically, it doesn't add up. It's a lot of theatrics with no real intention to get proper help. A person truly struggling with anxiety would take care of themselves first, not turn to social media for validation or sympathy. And the way she claims her daughter was there for her during this moment is even more troubling. If it's true, it's heartbreaking to think about how it will affect her daughter in the future. Growing up in an environment like that, constantly exposed to her mother's dramatic outbursts for attention, could have lasting emotional effects. The tears are so genuine that one can easily fall for her manipulation, and a lot of people fell for it. With her tactics working perfectly, she made a response video to react to the previous one.
Just wanted to update everybody that it is now fixed. A plumber came, they snaked it. I had a really bad anxiety attack, if you can't tell. But everything's all good. We're all good. Hopefully it stays. I took a shower for the first time in 3 days. That was amazing.
It's honestly funny how someone could fall for her lies and tricks, especially when she's so blatantly using her struggles for sympathy. Even when Amanda claimed to be addressing her viewers for their well wishes and prayers after her recent anxiety attack, she made sure to sneak in her "I'm dirty" tactic. The timing of it is too calculated. She's capitalizing on it by weaving her messiness into the story. Now let's talk about her saying she hadn't bathed in 3 days. That alone is hard to believe. If she's truly been at home for 3 days dealing with anxiety, wouldn't basic self-care, like taking a shower, be something she could manage? It makes no sense. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say she's telling the truth. If the adults in the household aren't taking care of their hygiene for days on end, how can they possibly encourage their kids to stay clean? It sets a terrible example, and you have to wonder if the kids are picking up on this behavior too. So this means that if her anxiety doesn't trigger some kind of emotional breakdown, would she really have gone a whole week without taking a bath? It makes you wonder how long she's letting basic personal hygiene slide just because it doesn't fit into the narrative she's trying to build around her content. She seems willing to let her audience believe anything, whether it's her dirty lifestyle or her emotional struggles, as long as it gets her the attention she craves. I know some of you watching this might think I'm overreacting about my concerns regarding her dirtiness. Maybe we should check out some more videos of her and how she behaves at home so you can see the kind of person she is. That's how messy her fridge is. But kudos to her. At least she tried to keep it clean before it got any worse than it already was. But before you watch the next clip, make sure you're not eating anything because I don't want you puking all over the place.
Is that working? Oh my god, it's working.
How did she even let her toilet get this bad? It's hard to understand how a toilet that's been used by her and her kids could get this dirty. It looks like the dirt's been building up for a long time, and it doesn't seem like it's coming off easily with just some scrubbing. Do they actually sit on this? How could anyone feel comfortable using this toilet when it looks like that? How could she let it get to this point? And what made her realize that this was the right time to clean it?
I'm gonna use some of this because it says safe for septics system. So this kind of stuff. And a lot of people said get a new toilet, and we probably are gonna have to because this seat does not look friendly at all. But let's try it. I have no idea what I'm doing here. It's fine.
Honestly, at this point, there's no saving that toilet. The dirt looks like it's been stuck there for so long that no amount of scrubbing is going to make much of a difference. The best thing Amanda could do for herself and her family is probably to just get a new toilet altogether. The dirt has accumulated and hardened over time, and it's become so ingrained that it's just not going anywhere without major effort. Replacing things that have gotten that bad is the only real solution, and it might be worth it for the sake of their health and sanity. At least she claims that she makes a lot of money from posting content online.
I'm trying here, guys. I'm really trying the resources that I got for now. But come back for the next part and see if I can get this completely off. I will be ordering a new toilet seat, though, because I'm just ripping off the paint at this point with this.
For Amanda, it's all just content. But honestly, it's disgusting and unhealthy to have things like that in the house. You might think the toilet is the only problem, but it's not just that. Even her washing machine has fallen victim to the same neglect. A dirty toilet and a washing machine aren't bad to look at. They're a breeding ground for germs and bacteria, and it's concerning to think about the impact this could have on our family's health.
That don't come off.
The inside of her washing machine is even worse. It's really not something anyone should be comfortable looking at, yet she still uses it like it's no big deal. It's hard to understand how she can just ignore how disgusting it looks. And when she gets called out for it, she blames her behavior on something she calls cleaning paralysis.
Okay, guys, I will be the one to admit it. Yes, it is. It's gross. You know that cleaning paralysis I was talking about where you're like blinded to things that, you know, aren't like such a big deal, but they are kind of a big deal. Like this is where we wash our clothes, and I understand that, and I just really didn't pay attention to how dirty it was until everybody started pointing it out, and you were 100% correct. It is foul. But good thing I don't think it's any mold. It's just dirt and shampoo going on. So what I did was I took my steamer and I'm just breaking everything loose. Like right here I was like, oh, is this mold? But this is just where the softener goes, and I think it's just caked on softener and dirt because it doesn't smell bad. It smells actually really good.
How can she think this smells good? Maybe that's why she didn't notice the dirty. She loves the smell of dirt. Amanda even admitted it herself. She's dirty and struggles with keeping her house in order. She says she hopes to get better at taking care of things, but it's been 5 years of posting on TikTok, and honestly, nothing's really changed. The mess is still there. She's stuck in the same cycle. She talks about wanting to improve, but her actions show that she's comfortable with it.
And while yes, everything has its little dirtiness, nooks and crannies, you know, I really need to deep clean, and I do know that. I'm just trying to get into the habit of actually cleaning consistently and keeping up with it. So deep cleaning is going to happen. I just need to keep up with cleaning in order for me to clean.
Kids are usually so innocent and often unaware of the environment they're living in, especially if they've grown up surrounded by it. For Amanda's kids, they might not even know that their mom's dirtiness is unusual because it's all they've ever known. To them, it could just be normal. But as they get older, they might start noticing that their home is different from other people's homes. Or maybe they'll realize it when a friend makes a comment or jokes about how messy the place is. Imagine one of Amanda's kids inviting a friend over, and that friend makes fun of how dirty the house is. That kind of comment could be hurtful and affect the child's confidence. It might even lead to teasing at school if other kids catch wind of it. And with how much Amanda shares on the internet, kids in school could be exposed to more of her videos. Her kids might get constantly bullied in school if classmates find out about the mess their mom shows in her videos. In today's world where the internet is so accessible, it's not hard for kids to stumble upon their parents' content. Amanda usually and always shows the faces of her kids in her videos.
Everybody, I told you I was going to hold myself accountable. Even though I don't want to do this, I am doing it. Now, your guess is as good as mine where this all came from. This little spot over here looks kind of like rust, all that orange.
It's honestly pretty shocking to see one of Amanda's kids walking around in a place that's so clearly filthy. She's cleaning the area, but the floor is covered in who knows what. Dog feces, cat litter, or germs. And there she was wearing slippers to protect herself, but letting her kid walk around with no shoes. How could she be so inattentive to let something like that happen? Kids are curious, and sometimes they don't understand the risks of being around that kind of mess. But as the parent, it's Amanda's responsibility to make sure they're safe. But there are other annoying moments where her kid did something unthinkable, and she thought it'd be amazing to make a video about it.
This guy found a nasty snack. I overcame my fear and got the little
Cockroaches don't just show up in a clean home. For a kid to have the opportunity to pick one up, much less ingest it, that says a lot about the living conditions in that house. For an adult to even kill one cockroach and capture it takes a lot of work, except if insecticides are used. That shows that their home has become a comfortable environment for those pests, which is unsanitary and dangerous for the kids. The fact that something like this is happening and it's being filmed to the world is heartbreaking. It's painful to think about the potential long-term effects this could have on our child's health, both physically and emotionally. And it's even worse knowing that she's putting these moments out there for the sake of content. As for her husband, it makes you wonder how much he's truly in support of this. Why would he let her use their children like this, knowing the kind of attention it brings and the potential consequences? Maybe it's because of the money she makes from it. It's hard to ignore the possibility that he might be turning a blind eye as long as it's bringing in the cash. Here we have Amanda again making a video with one of her kids in it, and the video got over 2 million views.
Come on, guys, really? How could you be mad at that? He is the freaking cutest, and I love him so much. So now I have about 3 or 4 baskets of clean clothes that I need to separate and go through. I did get a bag for donations. You see me fight with this little dinosaur suit that I almost kept for him that was a little bit too small, but I ended up donating it. And, you know, I just put it in my head like he doesn't need it. He's not going to wear it. It's almost the end of summer, or almost the end of winter, and he's not going to be able to wear it much longer. So I donated it, and I feel really strong and proud about that because we need to get rid of clothes and crap. I also want to say thank you.
Also in the next video, look at the condition of a home where kids are growing in. This is just pathetic, and there's no reason it should be like this.
I just walked in to this. Oh no. My washer drains into here. I know, this is the next project. And this was in here, and this got plugged into here. So all the water that was draining out of here overflowed, went into the cat box, overflowed everything out here. And we just got back from the park to see this. Oh my fucking God.
Leaving the washing machine running while they're out at the park is beyond irresponsible. That's incredibly dangerous, especially considering the state of the floor. With the mixture of water, cat litter, and who knows what else is on the floor, it's like a recipe for disaster. On top of that, there are wires all over the place. What if one of them was a live wire? With water all over the floor, it could easily lead to electrocution, either for Amanda or one of her kids. The fact that she can just make a video of this thinking it's all fine for content is really annoying. She seems to care more about capturing these messy moments for her followers than the very real risks they pose. Eventually, with the danger to the kids being repeatedly shown by Amanda online, some concerned individuals contacted Child Protective Services to intervene in the matter, and Amanda didn't appreciate the gesture. She made her displeasure known to all her viewers.
Why do you honestly think I live in this most filthy, trashed house in the whole world? Like, CPS is not gonna come fuck with me. They want real cases, man. My house is messy, yes.
It's annoying to hear Amanda claim she lives in the filthiest house with 4 kids and then just brush it off by saying that CPS only deals with real cases. Her situation is real enough, and if people didn't see the dangers her kids are exposed to, they might have been more willing to turn a blind eye. But the mess isn't the only issue. The dirty environment is just one of the many problems her kids are facing in this household. The health risks, the emotional toll of living in such conditions, and the potential for accidents or neglect are all real serious concerns.
And I got crumbs on my floor, yes, but I vacuum every day. But what TikTok doesn't show you is when I actually get it done. I am fucking over this.
It's hard to believe her claim that she cleans her home daily or occasionally when her place looks like that. If she's really cleaning that often, how is there that much dirt piling up? The state of her toilet I showed you earlier is disturbing. It was so bad that normal scrubbing didn't even make a dent in the stain, which doesn't look like something that gets cleaned regularly, if at all. That's not the kind of place you'd expect someone who cleans daily or even occasionally to maintain. She might be right that TikTok pushes more of her dirty content because it attracts views, but it also gives viewers a clear picture of the kind of person she is. Just because she decides to clean her toilet once every few months doesn't mean she can expect people to ignore the fact that it's been dirty for such a long time. It doesn't matter how many times she shows a clean moment, it's the consistent mess that speaks louder. Amanda has posted far more videos showing her dirty home than she has shown any effort to keep it clean. So when her viewers express concern about the kids living in these conditions, those concerns are completely valid.
Leave me alone. If you don't fucking like it, keep scrolling. Leave me alone.
Viewers might back off from Amanda, but they can't do that to her kids. Those kids have so much more to lose if they aren't properly looked after. The reality is that their well-being is at risk, and that's what people are genuinely worried about. If Amanda didn't have kids, no one would be nearly as concerned about her behavior, but her children are living in these conditions, and that makes it a whole different issue. What's even more shocking is that this video wasn't even a recent one. It was from years ago when the pressure was high, and yet it shows just how little has changed. The mess, the neglect, the disregard for their health, it's all still there. And despite the criticism and concern over the years, Amanda continues to put her kids' welfare in danger for the sake of content. Recently, she faced the same issue with CPS, but this time, her reaction seemed more for the views rather than genuine concern, unlike in previous years.
Get my house ready with me so CPS can come over.
It honestly seemed like Amanda was almost excited to meet Child Protective Services. It's like she saw it as another opportunity for content rather than a serious concern. And the most frustrating part, she's only cleaning her home because she claimed CPS was involved, not because the house needed cleaning.
Have to change your butt because you got stanky in there. Oh. Now that we have taken care of his butt, here's what the living room situation is. I know I have not carpet cleaned yet, but that I am definitely going to have to pull this guy out today. The table, I don't know why it turns into a catch-all, but it does. Dogs. The kitchen, I definitely do need to get some dishes done. And then declutter this. I don't know why, but this gets cluttered up, which is random. And then this is my husband.
This is the home Amanda claimed she cleaned up just for when CPS came around, but it's far from being well kept. The table is still a mess, the dishes are piling up, and while the floor looks a little better, it still needs sweeping. And what's up with a shoe being on the kitchen cabinet? It looks like it might even be her husband's shoe. One thing I know for sure is that for her husband to be okay with the state of the house, he must be just as messy as Amanda. If he was bothered by it, he would have stepped in long ago. And when Amanda tried to return his shoe to the room, we got a peek into how his space looked.
Sleeps. I get it. The carpets are disgusting. This is my boys' room. I'm gonna vacuum, clearly. Vacuum that. I think that's styrofoam. My oldest is autistic and he has pica. So that's what that is. And then my room, I know the carpets are disgusting. I just got this pile to take care of, and that.
Basically everywhere inside the house looks terrible, and the rugs need to be vacuumed as soon as possible. This place doesn't look like a place where sane humans should be living.
Now I know what you're gonna ask. Am I worried? No, not at all. I am a good mom. I take care of my kids. They have heat. They have a roof over their head. They have lots of food. They have beds to sleep in. They have clean clothes.
The only reason Amanda still has custody of her kids is because on the surface, she's providing for them. But what she doesn't seem to realize is that providing food and shelter isn't enough. The physical, hygienic, and mental well-being of her kids is just as important, and that's what people are really concerned about. It's about creating a safe and healthy environment for them to grow. Her refusal to acknowledge that there's so much more she needs to do for her kids in these areas makes it hard to believe that she'll change anytime soon. Until she starts addressing these critical aspects of parenting, it's difficult to see how things could improve.
Update. Obviously the carpets are crap, so there's nothing I can do about that currently, but I am gonna fold those blankets. Little guy is asleep right now. The boys' room is nice and clean. Currently in this room, I just need to fix this and fix that. Again, there is nothing at this time I can do about the carpets. They're not taking my children because my carpets are fucking dirty. I'm working.
Amanda seems convinced that her kids won't be leaving her, and in some ways she might be right. She claims she's working on things, but honestly, that's the same excuse she's been giving for the past 5 or 6 years. She promises that she's trying to be better, but when you look at her actions, nothing changes. It's frustrating because it feels like she's just going through the motions, saying what people want to hear without actually following through. Every time she says she's working on improving, it doesn't take long before the same issues pop up again, and she has once admitted to it in a video.
So you are exactly correct. I have been doing this for 4 years, but the difference is I am really fucking trying this time. Yeah, I may have been trying to do this for 4 years, and you guys have seen me go through hell and up and down and up and down. But this time I'm really, 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 really trying to make a change. So by this point, I probably would have already quit and went back into my filthy ways. And while, yes, it's not perfect, and literally my children are paper shredders, they will be picking every ounce of this trash up because mama ain't fooling around.
No, she isn't trying any hard, and there have been no improvements over the years.
I'm gonna do this and that and finish up in the bathroom. Also, I know somebody's gonna go, oh, look at all the filth. This I could probably get clean, but this is lifting away. So I can't get that clean. It stays.
It's honestly sad to think about how Amanda could even touch that filth on the bathroom floor. It's hard to imagine her cleaning or touching such a dirty space, and then going on to cook dinner for her family with those same hands. When you see things like this, it becomes clear that Amanda's dirtiness isn't about creating content, it's part of who she is. She might be showing these messy moments for the views, but the fact that she's okay with living in these conditions tells you that this is the person she truly is.
They're so proud of how good their house is and everything. Yeah, the carpet's a little messy and dirty, and that's to come. That is to be taken care of. But boy, some of you all are just really holding tight to my old videos and saying that I have not improved. The real ones can see where my improvement has been. And no, it's not because CPS is coming over. This was gonna happen anyways. It's just, I'm getting it done quicker.
She's not being truthful here. As we pointed out earlier in the video, her home wasn't always this bad before she figured out that TikTok pushed her dirty content. So if anything, it's actually gotten worse, not better. She's created this mess as part of her brand, and she probably got used to being that dirty over time because it involves doing nothing. It would honestly be a good idea for CPS to visit unannounced so they can see the true state of her home on a typical day.
It's exactly what my house looked like when the CPS lady walked in yesterday. Minus the load of dishes, because we did a load of dishes before she got here. So to some of you, I get that it's not perfect. I know a lot of people are expecting me to live in some magazine home, and that's just not reality. And the meeting went so incredibly well. She did not care what my carpets looked like. She did not care about the crayons on the wall or the dust in the window and, everything. She just cared that, the kids are stepping on clothes. Also, to mention my bathroom, I had my husband clean the bathroom, and that was a mistake because he did not do the toilet very well, so I am going to have to come back in there, but she didn't care about that.
Oh my gosh, that dude looks absolutely terrible. Amanda tried to blame her husband for not doing a good job cleaning it, but let's be real. Those stains have been there for so long, they've practically become permanent residents. No amount of scrubbing is going to get rid of them now. Remember when I showed you a video of Amanda trying to remove the dirt from the toilet? So I don't think she's going to do anything different if she goes back to clean it. The rest of the house did look a little better, but it's still far from being in good shape. When CPS agents came by, they would definitely be concerned about what they saw, especially the state of the toilet. But as we know, that alone isn't necessarily grounds to take the kids away, though it raises concerns about the overall environment they're living in. What's even more surprising is that Amanda's husband hasn't stepped in and told her to stop posting their mess online. You'd think that someone would step up and say, this isn't the kind of attention we want, especially when it's leading to visits from CPS. But honestly, it doesn't seem like he's the type of leader to make that call. His lack of action in this situation says a lot about them. And it seems like he's not taking responsibility for the state of their home either.
Your mental health and you're subjecting your children to the problem, that's the problem that needs to be addressed. You have to find a way to pull yourself out of whatever it is for your children. Somebody needs to be hired at this point because every nook, every cranny, every appliance, every floor, every wall, every door is covered in absolute filth. This is beyond messy, dirty homes. This is filth. And your children deserve better than living in a situation like this.
This video really sums everything up. Amanda knows she needs to do better, but deep down she's aware of it. But her greed for attention from new viewers is preventing her from making the changes she needs to improve. She's so focused on the views and the content that she's willing to let things slide, even when it's clearly impacting her family's well-being, especially her kids. Hopefully one day, she'll look back and realize the damage she's done, not just to her home, but to her kids and her own mental and physical health. It's not too late for her to make things right, but it would take a real shift in her priorities and values. Let's hope that when the time comes, she'll be willing to make those changes before it's too late for her. The hope is there, but it's up to her to make the right choices.